Hey, what's up everyone? James from Twin Engines, and we are currently riding a massive Predator appreciation wave. I happen to be a massive fan of this franchise, and the latest edition, Prey, that's now streaming on Hulu, was a fantastic film, a really great addition to the lore. I highly suggest you check it out if you haven't yet, and also be sure to check out our official Twin Engines of Destruction review. I have the link down below where my buddy Ben and I discuss our likes, dislikes, references to other films, possible theories, all that good stuff. A great video. But for today, I want to talk about my top 5 favorite Predators from the films. I'm only sticking to the films. I don't want to reference Predators from the expanded universe, like comics, video games, novels. Just for the sake of simplicity, these are going to be my top 5 favorite movie Predators. So before we begin, let's go ahead and talk about some honorable mentions. One would be Jungle Hunter. The Jungle Hunter from 1987's original Predator film, to this day highly regarded as the best film in the series, and this Predator is still regarded as one of the most competent and just menacing Predators in the franchise. I would say majority of the classic iconic attributes of a Predator stem from the original Big Boy. The dreadlocks, the mask, the wrist blades, the cloaking factor, a lot of the lore comes from this guy, and to this day he still holds up. The effects, the face looks fantastic to this day, and whether on purpose or not, he comes off as one of the most competent hunters that we've seen in the films. In sequels, they tend to get a lot more sloppy. The Predators tend to do a lot more mistakes or be a lot more impulsive, and whether that's on purpose, like they're meant to be youngsters in a ritual, or it was just crappy filmmaking, by default, it makes this Predator just seem far more calculating and menacing, and he just bides his time, and I think that's really great. We owe damn near almost everything to this original, so it would be a dishonor if he did not make this list. Honorable mention number 2 would have to be Falcon or Predator from the 2010 film Predators. Now, I wasn't a massive fan of this film, but I do gotta praise its effects. I do like what they did with the Super Predator look. I like that it's a different look. Their armor seems to be a lot more streamlined. It's almost more gladiator-like than it is a hunter. And that was very interesting. Overall, I did enjoy their look, particularly the Falconer. As the name implies, his mask looks like a type of bird of prey, like an owl. I thought that was very interesting. And of course, he carries this flying device that's able to locate and pinpoint the location of his prey, so it gives him an advantage in the jungle. And I thought that was a very unique and interesting advantage that he would have over his quarry. Plus, of course, the duel with a Yakuza member. Many people would say that was the highlight of that film, and I gotta agree. So Falcon or Predator, really love that suit design, and he was a pretty interesting Predator. So favorite Predator number 5 would have to be the City Hunter from the 1990 Predator 2 film. Now, I had a hard time picking which one was my favorite between the City Hunter and the Jungle Hunter from Predator 1, and I do gotta say I do prefer City Hunter's look a little bit more. I feel it's a little bit more refined. I really like the copper look on the armor, and it adds a little bit more to the lore, as well as the weapons such as the combi stick, the smart disc, the net thrower. Really great additions to the Predator weaponry. I really like this Predator. Also, I really like his face. So the City Hunter's face is a great example of how you can take something and honor something that's come before, but without changing it up too much, without distorting it too much. You know, he's a different Predator from his face. He's a different individual. He's a little bit more vibrant in colors. He's a little bit more jagged. Fantastic design for Predator 2. Favorite Predator number 4 would have to be the Elder Predator from Predator 2. That final scene, that ending, is one of the most exciting endings I've ever seen in a film. The atmosphere, the music, the costumes, everything was just amazing, and it just adds just that little bit more to the Predators as in terms of their lore and, you know, their honor system and all that they do allow Harrigan to live. And not only that, but they even reward him with a pistol, like something of a trophy for defeating one of their members. And the Elder Predator is the leader of this tribe, and he just looks amazing. All those costumes look amazing, but he's just the standout easily. Now, it's kind of a little bit of cheating because technically this is the costume from Predator 1. They just kind of aged him up a little bit, but that's great costume setup. You know, they just do enough to make him look different. They give him the white-ish dreads, more quills to the face, a little piercing on one of his mandibles, stuff like that that really gives him a more pirate or gypsy-like look. It just gets the imagination going, like, man, how many centuries has this guy lived? How many fights and how many planets and hunts has he embarked upon? What has he seen? Really cool stuff. Favorite Predator number 3 would have to be the Celtic Predator from the first Alien vs. Predators film. Now, these costumes don't hold up as well as the previous entries, as Predator 1 and 2. They look a little cheaper. They look a little a little wonkier. The actors were a little smaller, a little shorter than previous ones, and, you know, they have so much armor that they end up looking far more bulkier, more, you know, especially with the armor, more like football players than they do tribal hunters. It doesn't matter to me. I think that works for the film, for the story. They're sending in these youngsters, these unproven youngsters, to enter this pyramid for a rite of passage ritual. So it makes sense that they would be outfitted with all these weapons and extra armored for protection from the dangerous prey that would be the xenomorph. But they are lacking experience. So that's really cool. I like to think of these guys as, you know, high school jocks. You know, they're all full of testosterone. You know, they probably lift weights all day in the ship, you know. But they're lacking on experience, and that would be the ultimate undoing of all of these predators, basically. Celtic's mask is one of my favorites. I just love how menacing and how ghostly it looks, with all the little rivets and everything around the snout, and the blue eye lenses just give it this ghostly look, this just very ghoulish look, and I think that looks really cool. Once again, him having extra armor really works. I would say it works for the situation at hand. And this guy is just a brawler. I mean, this guy, his physique complements his personality. This dude is throwing around a xenomorph like a rag doll, just bashing him. And for a second, it looks like he would have won the fight against the grid alien. Sadly, once again, inexperience would come back to bite him in the ass and, well, bite him in the face, actually. Favorite Predator number 2 would have to be the Feral Predator from the recent Prey movie. This Predator was outstanding. I loved his look. He's easily the most ominous and frightening of all the Predators, particularly with that bone mask. You don't even see his visor, you don't even see where his eyes would be, and that adds to this just frightening look, especially with that, you know, just stripped down look. He has very little armor, a lot less weapons that we're used to seeing, such as a plasma caster. We don't know whether maybe this tribe does not use those weapons or the armor, or maybe this particular predator just has not yet earned those things. We've yet to see. We don't know, but really liked his look. Once again, loved the bone mask. I loved his weapons. I love that shield that's on his gauntlet. Love this predator. If there's one thing that I did not like, was the face, and that's what holds him back from being my number 1. And my number 1 favorite predator from the films easily has got to go to the wolf predator from 2007's Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Now, sadly, this is one of the lesser entries in the franchise, one of the cheaper looking movies, but that film I still like to go and rewatch from time to time because it's enjoyable to me solely for Wolf Predator. This Predator is the entire package. I mean, he is visually a stunning character. Let's talk about his looks. So first of all, he has the coolest face I've seen in a Predator. I love his face when he's unmasked. Just like the Elder Predator from Predator 2, they just give him this more experienced and wise and older face. He's got a burn on the side of his face where he's got a milky eye and a missing mandible. He's got these huge mandibles on his lower jaw, just giving him this more intense and intimidating appearance. As for his costume, it's closer to the original Predator 1 and 2 than it was to the AVP Predators. Very slimmed down, very sleek. But, you know, he's still his own thing. He's not, you know, Jungle Hunter 2. You know, he really does stand out on his own. His weapons are really cool. First time we see a Predator with double plasma casters. He's got a xenomorph tail whip type of weapon, a dissolving liquid to remove evidence because that's what he's there to do, and an implosion device. It's instead of an explosion like other predators from before. Once again, since he's not there for trophy hunting or anything like that, he's there to get rid of evidence. This thing just implodes, and I think that's really clever. He's just got experience. Like I said earlier with the AVP Preds, these guys are buff and they are over armored, you know, so many weapons, but they lack experience. They're just there posturing amongst each other which one's going to be the best one or whatever. Wolf, on the other hand, he's got nothing to prove to anybody. He is competent, you know, he's that old war vet. You know, he may be a little scrawny, but I mean, the guy will take care of business, and he's competent at what he does. He's taking on xenomorphs easily. He's taking on humans. He's taking on the Pred Alien. So it's a shame he's not in a better movie, because he's easily one of the most iconic predators in the franchise, and love that character. Well, folks, that is about it for me, so thank you for joining me, and let me know if you agree with my list. If not, go ahead and comment down below which one is your favorite predator and why. Is my list wrong? You know, would you disagree with it? Let me know, and also let me know if you're interested in me making a video on my top favorite predators from the expanded lore, such as comics, video games, novels, so on and so forth, and I'll gladly make it. So, thank you for joining me. Cheers, everyone.